we start talking. Chelsea had brought up that she's been doing something the past, how long have you been doing this, Chelsea? Whatever you're talking about tonight.
So it officially, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I usually do this on my phone, so I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I usually, I usually do this on my phone, so I'm all like flustered. But I started this system that I'm going to be teaching you guys. I started it literally, it's been almost, 2 full weeks that I started it. Like, it's officially been going. But we learned about it on January 1st on like this big kickoff call that Ann Fisher did. If you guys don't know, you guys are all on Ann Fisher's downline, the Rev Squad. We're all a part of that. I just learned that. It's been mind blowing. So
yes, the Facebook group, I think I'm in so many groups that I can't keep track of everything, but the Revolution Squad, is that what it's called? The Rev.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, this is what it looks like. If you're not on it, it's called the Revolution Squad. Request to be on it. It is Julie Stevens upline. So it's like way up there. But anyways, yes. So thanks for sharing that. Okay, so she's gonna Chelsea's gonna share her new system with us of what's working for her, because she has, this month she got a whole block built. I think that was like December and January, right? Or was that all this month?
Just all this month.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so all this month, and she's been doing this new system. So I'm excited to hear what's been working for her and to, implement this ourselves. The call normally, I think, goes for 45 minutes, but if we're like deep in it, we can always hop back on. So let's just see how we can do. Does that sound good? Okay, perfect. So Chelsea, take it away.
I'm like, stay muted till the very last minute, because my kids have been like demons today. I swear. One is like painting me a mural with printer ink in my bathroom. The other one is like making some type of potion with graham crackers and water, and then he's giving the dog like our little curtain like tie backs as like a rope toy. I'm just like, what is happening? So it's just been chaos. But this system, you guys, I am so excited. There's a few things that you are going to need, and I am going to cover the supply list after we're done. I have a little graphic that has everything but one that they added on after the fact to the supply list, but you're going to want this. And if you are old school like me and you love pen to paper instead of digital stuff, you're going to love this. But with that being said, I'm working with my husband and on my own to convert all of this to like PDF documents that you can like clickable and stuff like that. So it's all digital in case you can't lug a binder with you, you still have the option to take this with you. So that's in the works. But this system, I love it. So the first thing, we're going to talk about a couple different things. So this first part, it is, okay, let me back up. There's a training that I'm not going to cover tonight because you just don't have time. That goes hand in hand with this. So maybe we can collaborate and do a different training on this, because I feel like you need both for this. And that one is figuring out your pillars, your social media pillars, and your core 4 and your signature move. And it's amazing. It teaches you very simply and straightforward how to nail down your niche and your ideal client audience, and in a much more authentic and genuine way, which makes it easier for you to show up more consistently. So that is a whole separate training that we're not going to do tonight. The one that I'm going to talk about tonight is having to do more with like the behind the scenes stuff that you need to be doing every single day, your non-negotiables, to show up consistently for your own personal business. It's the difference between passive IPAs and active IPAs. If you guys don't know this, there is a difference, and I had no idea, but a passive IPA is like social media. It's like content. It's what you, like people say, post and pray. And we are not about the posting and the praying. We are actively engaging and creating authentic relationships with people. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about, I have a demonstration right here for you guys. But this is part of the supplies that you will need. And I printed them off because I didn't want to lug my binder that I'm actually using for this, but you need 2 binders. And this one I haven't gotten to yet because, like I said, we are hitting that 14-day mark on Friday. So I'm about to transition people into this and I'm so excited for it. But the power of 3 is what we're going to talk about first. And this is this. I don't know if you guys can see it. For me, I'm like a side bubble on this. I don't know how we can make it. So like, is it big for you guys? Does it show me as like the big square for you guys on your guys' end?
So I think you have to change that yourself.
Everyone will set it themselves in their view.
Yeah. So you
Set
the
it to
top right
speaker.
corner, it says view. You can change it to be the big square.
Speaker.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
speaker,
it's a
gallery, or full screen.
speaker.
It's selected at speaker right now.
Yep. If it's on speaker, then whoever is talking, like they'll have the green box up top and then the big box will be them.
Okay, so it's just different on my end than for you guys. Okay, cool. So you guys can see that a lot better than I can. Maybe I'll have to turn my light off for a second. Can you guys see this? Can you see that? I'm also going to be attaching the links to all of these documents for you guys in our team chat. But this says monthly 10-4-2 tracker. And at the very top, the 10-4-2 part, this is separate from the power of 3. It's 10 to try, 4 to buy, and 2 to fly. Super catchy and very simple and straightforward. And basically what it is it has a list right here of 10, and you want to either sample or give a borrow basket to 10 people every single month. That is putting the products in people's hands, separate of like an event. So it's like separate of you like actually washing their hair or having like some type of party. You're wanting to make connections with people in person and sample them or bring borrow baskets to them. So that's what that is. That's the 10 to try. The 4 to buy is for VIPs. And so for people that are going to purchase from you as a VIP customer, it's not retail. Retail is a plus, but we like to go for VIPs because we're focusing on building blocks. And so you do the 4 VIPs, and then 2 to fly is 2 people that want to run with you in this business. So 10-4-2. And you want to do this at least once every single month. And then when you teach your team to do this every single month, it's very simple and it duplicates down. It's a very simple system that you can teach your teams. And I think Anne said that when she calculated it out, they did the numbers. And if you just did that, the 10-4-2, at least once every single month, you would automatically hit managing market partner. And then you would teach your team to do that so that they'd be ranking up, and then they would teach their team and so on and so forth. And you would hit director in a year if you did that very like consistently and duplicated it. So I thought that was pretty awesome. I'm all about the simple systems that make sense. We don't want to get lost in the weeds. So, but the power of 3. So now we know what the 10-4-2 is. That's the top portion of this sheet. So that is going to make more sense to you guys now when you see the sheet, when I put it in the chat for our team. But the power of 3 is this DMO. And it's the power of 3 because there's 3 different sections. The first section is personal DMO. And then you have your business DMO and your social media DMO. Now, you want to keep these separate because how many of you have spent so many countless hours constructing all these reels and videos and outlining your live videos or doing like bullet points for your live, scheduling everything out, posting and showing up on your stories, and you feel productive, but you're not seeing the results that you want? Raise of hands. I've been there so much. It's because you are relying solely on like the posting and praying. Now, in a separate training that I was in, this girl said that she was talking about all of this and like the other, I think it was the other one I was telling you guys about with the pillars and the core 4 and the signature move. She was saying that all of that stuff is your content and it's how you show up on social media, but it's like the 80-20 rule. And your pillars, one of your pillars should be Monat, but the rest should be something entirely different. It should be things that are about you, like your pillars, things that you are passionate about, that you want to share and add value to other people and allow them to get to know you. And she said it perfectly. She said that your content, it helps you find your people. And then when you bring your people to you, they automatically are seeing Monat. And so it's a lot more genuine and authentic because you're pulling in all these people that are your ideal client audience. They are your people that you are supposed to be talking directly to, but they're also, because they're there, that they've come to your home, right? Your page is your home, and they've chosen to come to follow you for all of these other reasons. It could be Monat, but they've chosen to come and follow you, and they are seeing Monat just because that's one of your pillars, and that is what you're putting out there, along with everything else, basically. Does that make sense? So I'm getting off track. That's a totally thing, but you're firing me up. But I'm just saying is like your pillars bring people to you, and then they stay for the value that you continue to provide, and they see Monat as like a side factor of that. So it's a lot more genuine and authentic because you're not coming off as spammy and salesy. You're not always constantly pushing Monat. So that's separate. But the personal DMO, we're back on track. The personal, business, and social media. Personal is going to be what you do every day, your non-negotiables, your routine. And so like for Anne, she gave the example of her personal DMO is like, she gets up every day, she makes a spritzer, she has breakfast, she cooks breakfast for her daughter, gets her daughter ready for school and off to school. And then she metaphorically flips her business sign to open. And so it's whatever you are going to do every single day, your routine, before you flip that sign, or like as Amy Sloan likes to say, before you turn on that light switch and start working for the day. What are you going to do to get your mindset in the right place and get your day started off on the right foot? Because I don't know about you guys, but there's been many a day when I have not had any type of routine. And then all of a sudden I'm like, where did my day go? I felt like I was not even productive today. What happened? And having a routine like this helps to bookmark your day too. It's like mile markers in your day to keep you on track. And so you really need a personal DMO, non-negotiables that you're going to do every single day. So like for me, I have like in the morning, I will do what I call pavers. It's like Miracle Morning, if you guys have ever heard of that. And so you can do like prayer or meditation, whatever you're into with that. For me, I do my prayers, and then I do affirmations, and then I do my visualizations, and then I do some type of exercise, get my body moving, blood flowing, get myself in the right mindset. And then I read, and then you can like journal or something like that. I do that every single morning to fill my cup and get myself in the right mindset, as well as getting my kids ready for the day and or for school. If they have school that day, I get them ready for school, get them breakfast, get our day rolling, right? And it's like habit stacking. And so I have these things that I do every single day. And because they're all stacked together, one leads into the next, into the next, into the next. And so even on days where I'm like, you know what, I don't feel like doing crap today. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm just going to do this one thing in my routine. But because it's stacked, then it's like a mind trick, right? You're tricking yourself into getting your butt moving because you do that one thing and then it's stacked. And so you start doing the next, and then the next, and then the next, because it's like muscle memory and you're used to doing every single one of those things in that same order every single day. It's your routine. And so you can't just do one without the other. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure you have a personal DMO, a morning routine that's going to get you off on the right foot. So that's the personal one. The business one is separate from your social media. And this one, I would dare say, is the most important. Business is more important than the social media one. And I have personally proven that in the last 3 weeks that I haven't really posted or anything on my social media. And I have already sampled 10 people. I've built a block, and I'm already talking to 3 other people about the business. And also even more than that about the products. And I'm feeling like the connections are a lot more genuine, and it has nothing to do with social media, like posting, like the content part, right? Obviously, I'm still using social media to connect with those people, but I'm not like, here's a reel, here's a live video, here's a post, like those things go hand in hand, and you can't really do one without the other. But what I've done is kind of an experiment, and I've taken away something, and then I've implemented a new system so that I can see exactly the metrics with my business of how it's affected it, and if it's working or if it's not working. And I have seen, like, my numbers in my back office are completely different than last month. They're more than triple what they were last month in just the last few weeks. And like I said, like, I stepped away from posting and doing reels and stuff like that. And I've been solely focusing on this system. So the business side, I got to make sure I'm tracking on I wrote down notes so that I wouldn't get sidetracked, and you see how well that's working. So just give me a second. Okay, business is the behind the scenes work. So that's connections, follow-ups, sampling, sending borrow baskets, active things to move the needle in your business, in your personal business. It's not doing like coaching calls. It's not doing like with people that are already on your team. It's not doing coaching calls. It's not like I said, like doing like the reels, the live videos, the posting and stuff like that, which is also crucial. But this is the behind the scenes work that you need to be doing every single day to show up for your business and flip that switch in your business, or turn the sign, whatever you want to call it. You are opening yourself up for business that day. It's not being productive in your business if all you do in the entire day is post and pray, or like stay active in your stories, and that's all you do. If you didn't have a single conversation with anybody today, your business hasn't been open today. Much less if you haven't talked to anybody about Monat today, whether the products or the business side, and offered that to somebody today, it's a -1 day. That's what Aaron Henley calls it. It's a -1 day, because he tracks being successful in your business, in your daily method of operations, if you've had a conversation with somebody and connected with somebody about the business or the products. And so you want to make sure that you're showing up for your business and talking about the business. Because if you're not doing that, everything else is just fluff, right? There's not really a point to it. So you really want to make sure that you're working your own personal business, and you want to figure out your business DMO, how many, like, number of connections, which we're going to get to that in this system that I'm about to go over, number of connections, number of follow-ups, how many people are you going to sample or take a borrow bag to, number of check-ins with your VIPs and your market partners in your organization, because you want to see how they're doing and how you can help them, because it helps your personal business, right? And so all of that is important. Also, having events is important, because even if you can't have an event in person, you still want to try to do it virtually, because people are craving that connection with people. Even if they can't get together in person per se, it is so much easier to send them samples of like skincare or something like that, or like an oil treatment and some shampoo, and have like a spa night and tell them, I'm sending you this little care package, this little hair spa. Don't use it until the night of the event. And I'm going to explain how you're going to use it in the event. We're going to do it together. And then you teach them how to do an oil treatment. And you're visiting and you're talking, you're doing giveaways and all this stuff. And then they do the oil treatment during your event, or the facial or whatever samples you sent them. And then they use the other samples to wash their oil treatment out and stuff like that, right? So it's very important, is what I'm saying, to do events, even if it's just virtual, even if you can't do them in person, it's still important to get in that rhythm of doing events. So that's your personal business. Then for social media, that's your content. That's what attracts your people to you. So it's also considered a passive IPA. It's not an active IPA. It's a passive IPA because it's kind of like posting and praying. You're not having that one-on-one connection with people. You're posting and allowing them to get to know you, and they're seeing it on their own time, but it's more passive than actively engaging with people, getting the products in their hands, hosting events, connecting with people, and having those one-on-one conversations or phone calls about the business and the products. Does that make sense? So I'm not looking at the chat because I'm just for sake of time, I'm going to look at it at the end. But the connections and all that is going to make sense in just a minute. I'm about to hop into that system I was telling you about. 24 minutes, guys. Holy crap. I'm out of breath. Okay. Now so that's the social media one. And like I said, I can do an entire other training on social media because I've learned so many new things just in the past few weeks as well. Like I was saying, like about pillars, about your core four and your signature move, changed my business as well. So that's for another night. We don't have time for that. But then, so that's a little bit about the personal, the business, and the social media. It also has a little box on it right here that says goal for the month. And by goal for the month, I know you're probably thinking like, okay, this is the rank I want to hit. No, it's not. That is a very broad goal, and that's great. But for me, I like to get granular with it and have tangibles. Like I was saying, like number of connections, follow-ups, like the habits that are going to inevitably lead to those results. And you want to create the habits and the behaviors. You want to become the person, the leader that is going to have that rank and keep it. You don't want to just be a flash in the pan. So that goals for the month is very important. I would not recommend just writing like a rank on there. You got to be more granular and more specific with that. Like they say, like the SMART goals, specific, measurable. I totally forget the rest of them. You know what I'm talking about. But now the 90-day run. This is that other training that I was telling you about with the pillars and stuff like that, that along with this 90-day run and this DMO stuff, these three things have wildly changed my business in the last 3 weeks. And it's shocking to me. So the 90-day run, what you're going to need is 2 3-inch binders. Yes, it's like a behemoth freaking binder. I didn't even know they made binders in that thickness. But yes, 3-inch binder. You're going to need 2 of them. One is going to be for your tracker. It's like your 14-day tracker and your like your little sections, your dividers. And I'm going to talk about that. And then your other binder is going to be for your no's or people that ghost you. Okay, that's for the binder that you set to the side and you're like, I'm going to follow up with them every 90 days. I'm going to follow up with them. Okay. So the binder that you're going to have for the tracker is going to be the one that you look at every single day. The other one you don't really use until after like the 14-day mark, like I was telling you guys, but this is what the papers are going to look like. And I actually I changed one of them. So I use 2 different ones. They're very similar, but I do them based off if I am working on Instagram with a connection on Instagram or if I'm working over on Facebook. And I'm also making these into a digital version, like I was saying. So if you can't or don't want to print off a bazillion papers and have a pen to paper option and you want to do it digitally so you can take it with you on like a tablet or something like that, I'm working on that right now. But this is the one that Anne made. I don't know how you guys can see this. It has day 1 and then it has the date and then it has your screening, your prospect. And so you're going to write their name, write their social media handle. So this is for Instagram. And then you're going to screen them. This is so important because how many of you have gotten the hey girl message from another person in Monat? And you're like, dude, if you would have just taken like 3 seconds to look at my content, my page, even my stories, you would have seen that I'm already in Monat. And like Ann Fisher was saying, like people do that to her all the time. And she's like, I am like a top leader in money and I still get those hey girl messages. So she's like, it's so important to screen your potential, because literally what you're looking for is your ideal client audience. And Erin Henley says you're looking for your next best friend. And I feel like that is spot on, because even if they're not going to join you in this business, they're still going to be your customer. Or if you never sell to them or they never join you, they could still be your best friend. It's about making genuine connections and playing the long game, the sustainable game. Like I was saying, you don't want to be just a flash in the pan, right? So you're going to screen them. You're going to look at their highlights, because a lot of times, even like if they're higher up, majority of like the people that are directors have some sort of highlight that's like join me or my team or some type of Monat thing. So you're going to want to look at their highlights. And the more people try to use attraction marketing too, the less obvious it's going to be that they are in Monat. And so you're going to have to screen them and make sure that one, they're not already in Monat, and two, that you're going to get along with them, right? You're looking for your next best friend. And so you're not going to want to just add random people. And then you're like, holy crap, like I'm not even about like everything that she's about. Like this doesn't jive with me. I'm not about that. I don't even want to talk to this person, right?
Mommy. Why are you?
Your husband yelling, no, don't, is my favorite thing. In there.
My 2-year-old. Anyways, so you're going to want to screen them. You're going to want to look at their highlights. If you're on Instagram, you're going to want to see if they have some type of hair, beauty, Monat related stuff, right? Because odds are they're going to have something like that on there. And if they don't, then you're like, okay, check mark that box. They passed that test, the highlight test. Then you're going to want to look in their stories if they have stories for that day, and see if they're talking about a flash sale or showing the products, or they're talking about the business, right? Dead giveaway. If you don't see any of that, then you can check that. Posts, you're going to want to see if, obviously, if they're sitting there, I'm going to have a product with me. If they're sitting there like holding the oil or something like that, then you're like, okay, great. She's in Monat. You go, girl. But you're not on my list. So you're going to want to look at their posts or their reels. Sometimes they don't even have reels. If they don't have any reels, I just put like a dash in it, just like void, like they didn't have any reels. And then if you want to see if they're active, you want to go to their most recent post or video or whatever, and you want to see the date that they did that. Because if they haven't posted in like a year or two or 6 months ago, you know, unless they had a baby or something, I mean, that stuff like that's an extenuating circumstance. But if they haven't posted in a crap long time, then you're not going to want to engage with them, because odds are everything that you're doing to try to engage with them and connect with them, they're not even going to see it. And so don't waste your time. Also, if they have, you're going to want to start small. Unless you have like a massive following, you're going to want to start small. So 5,000 people or followers or less is the people that you are going to want to focus in on, because then they're going to see your stuff. They're more likely to see your comments, your likes, you're engaging with them. Okay. So you're going to screen them. Then you're going to go to your activity. So if they pass the screening test, you're going to go to the activity and you're going to like 3 of their posts. This is genuine interactions. You're not just throwing crap on the wall, right? You're going to like 3 of their posts or videos. You're going to comment on 2. You're going to leave a question either on the post or in their stories. It's amazing if you can ask a question and engage in the stories, because they're going to see that. It goes right to their DMs. And so if you can, do that in their stories. If you can't, do it on the post. And then you want to follow them, and you want to, again, engage in their stories, not just like peruse them, but you're going to want to engage in them. Yeah. Yeah, this is I know it's a lot. And I'm like, holy crap, remaining meeting time. Okay, here we go. Okay, so after all of that, then you're going to write notes. And this is going to be what you're going to refer back to over the 14 days. And it's going to be a memory jogger for you. Like, hey, she's a mama of 2. Or like me, I'm like, holy crap, she's a golden retriever mama, just like me. And I'm like, I feel like that's a whole different breed of people. Like, I'm like, you're a Goldie mama too. We're best friends. So you're going to want to put whatever connection you have with that person, thing that you will relate to them with, you're going to want to put that in there. Because as you get going with this, especially after the first 14 days, you're going to have 50 people ongoing in your funnel that you're going to be connecting with and talking to. And so you're going to need a memory jogger. You're going to need your notes so that you can, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, oh yeah, she's the one that had a golden retriever. Holy crap, love her. Okay, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Something that's going to get you back on track. So it has that, and then it has day 2, 3, 4, and then it's double-sided, and it goes all the way down to 14, and it has extra space for notes. I made a duplicate of this, and I changed it a little bit for Facebook. So Facebook, they obviously don't really have highlights. Some people do, but a lot don't, but they have stories, posts. Now they have reels. And so you're going to still want to screen them. And I put friend instead of follow, like friend request them. But it's the same process. You're going to go through it for 14 days. You are going to go, and the first day, you're just going to screen them. And then you're going to fill out this top portion. And then day 2, you're going to fill out this one as well as your new ones. So every single, I'm going to see if I can explain this correctly. So it's 300 pages for a 90-day run, because you're doing 5 new connections every single day for at least 5 days each week, Monday through Friday. And then it's for 3 months. And so you're going to do 4 90-day runs in a year, right? So you're constantly doing this, starting over, doing this. And it's very simple, very duplicatable. And guys, I've gotten so much more engagement and one-on-one conversations and so many more people into my funnel. And I'm having so many more conversations that have nothing to do with Monat that are somehow getting to Monat without me even realizing. I'm like, all of a sudden, holy crap, we're talking about Monat. We're talking about the product, we're talking about the business. And it's genuine and authentic. It. And for years, I'm like trying to figure out this system. And I'm like, I even had this conversation with my husband. I'm like, there's got to be some way to turn a cold prospect into a warm prospect and have it convert. But what is the timeline on that? Because I don't want to do it like, hi, how are you? By the way, have you heard about Monat? You should join me. I think you'd kill it. You know, it's like, it's you. Like, no, I don't even know you. Hello. You know, there's got to be some type of process, some type of system that makes it flow better and more authentic and genuine. And this is it, you guys. So what you're going to do is day 1, you're going to fill out 5 of these papers, 5, because 5 new connections. The next day, you're going to connect day 2 with those first 5. And then you're going to do 5 new. So on day 2, you're actually going to be connecting with 10 people. So every day, the 5 from the day before roll over into the next, right? Until day 14, you're connecting with them, you're building that relationship, and it's very genuine, very authentic until day 14. And that's when you have to decide if it's worth connecting further with that person and bringing up Monat and asking them that question if they want to try the products or learn more about the business, hop on a 3-way call, whatever, and put them in that prospecting sequence, which I don't have time to talk about that right now. But this is gold, you guys. I'm like, you guys should stick around and we should just cover that too, because that's part of this system. So I'm like, we should hop off and then come back on.
Okay, I was just going to say, should we hop off right now and hop back on so it starts over?
Yes, I would vote yes, because this
Okay.
is a good stopping point.
Okay, so let's hop off, and if you can get back on, just get back on through the same link so we
Yes.
can keep, I'm like into this right now. So
It's gold, you guys.
it is so good. Okay, so let's hop off, and if you can join again, come right back to the same spot. Okay.